of Jesus. 40-day fast wasn't food. It was this, and it changed everything. Matthew chapter 4 tells us that Jesus fasted for 40 days in the desert. But wait a moment. Do you really believe he went 40 entire days without eating absolutely anything at all? Think about it carefully for a second. The 40-day secret. Jesus fasted words, not food. And what happened immediately after? He faced the devil in the desert, refused all temptations, returned with complete power over his consciousness, and began his public ministry, transforming lives everywhere he went. Are you ready to discover what silence truly does to your soul and why this practice has been hidden from you for so long? The first thing we need to understand is the myth of the 40 days without eating. From a medical standpoint, it's simply impossible for a human being to survive 40 days without any food whatsoever. Modern medicine shows us that death by starvation occurs between 21 and 40 days, depending on the person's physical constitution and environmental conditions. So, how do we explain this contradiction? The answer lies in the translation. The word that was translated as fasting in the original Aramaic text doesn't necessarily mean total abstinence from food. It means abstinence. But abstinence from what? The Essenes, the spiritual community where Jesus spent his formative years, practiced something very specific. They practiced the fast of speech, not the fast of food. During their spiritual retreats in the desert, the Essenes ate simple food. They consumed dates, unleavened bread, drank water from natural springs. Food was present. What wasn't present were words. Absolute silence was the true spiritual discipline they sought to master. This changes everything we thought we knew about those 40 days. Now let's understand why words have so much power that they need to be fasted from. Let's go back to the beginning of everything. In the book of Genesis, how did God create the universe? He spoke. He said, "Let there be light," and light came into being. All of creation emerged through the spoken word, and we, human beings, were made in the image and likeness of God. This means we also create through our words. Every word that comes out of your mouth isn't just sound that dissipates into the air. Every word carries a specific vibrational frequency. The science of cymatics proves this visibly. When you place sand on a metal plate and emit different sound frequencies, the sand forms different geometric patterns for each frequency. Harmonious sounds create beautiful and symmetrical patterns. Dissonant sounds create chaotic and ugly patterns. The same thing happens with your words. They are constantly shaping the reality around you. You are creating your life with every phrase you utter. Always, every moment, without exception. So let's talk about the daily verbal poison that most people pour into the world without even realizing it. Think about how many times a day you complain about something. About traffic, about work, about the government, about the weather, about your body, about your circumstances. Every complaint is a negative decree you're making about your own life. When you say, "I'm broke, I'm tired, I can't do it, I don't have the capacity, nothing works out for me," you're not just describing a situation. You're creating that situation. You're reinforcing that reality. You're programming your subconscious to manifest exactly what you're declaring. And it doesn't stop there. The gossip you spread, the small lies you tell, the harsh words you use against other people, all of this generates tremendous energetic pollution. And you know what happens? You start feeling an inexplicable fatigue, a tiredness that doesn't go away even after sleeping, because you're leaking vital energy through your words. Do a test. Record yourself for an hour on a normal day. Then, listen back. You'll be shocked by the amount of negativity coming out of your own mouth, without you even noticing it. The Gnostic texts that were suppressed by the Church speak extensively about the power of silence. In the Gospel of Thomas, which was discovered at Nag Hammadi in 1945, Jesus says something fascinating. "When you make silence your master, you will know the mysteries that not even the angels know." This isn't in the conventional Bible. It was removed. In Pistis Sophia, another Gnostic text, we see Jesus teaching his disciples to practice regular periods of complete mutism. And it's not just Jesus. Pythagoras, the great Greek philosopher and mathematician, required 5 years of total silence from his disciples before beginning to transmit the deepest teachings. Buddha did silence retreats for several months before attaining his enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. There's a pattern here. All the great spiritual masters of humanity practiced deep silence as a tool for transformation. All of them. Without exception. Why was this information hidden from us? Because people in silence start thinking for themselves. They start hearing the inner voice. They start questioning control structures, and that's dangerous for those who want to keep the masses asleep. But what really happens during a fast of words? Let's understand the process by stages. In the first 3 days, you'll feel tremendous mental agony. Your ego will scream internally. You'll feel an almost physical need to speak, to express yourself, to fill the void with sounds. This is the detoxification phase. You're accustomed to using words as emotional crutches. Between days 4 and 10, something changes. Your mind begins to clear. Thoughts that were previously confused and chaotic start organizing themselves. You notice thought patterns you never noticed before. Between days 11 and 20, spiritual downloads begin. Deep insights about your life, your purpose, your relationships, your true nature start emerging spontaneously. It's not you thinking. It's something greater revealing itself through the silence. And then between days 21 and 40, complete transmutation happens. You're no longer the same person who entered the silence. Your cells have renewed. Your energy field has reorganized. Your consciousness has expanded. Why, specifically, 40 days? Because science shows this is approximately the time needed for a complete cycle of cellular renewal in the human body. Jesus knew this, the essence. Knew this. It was ancient knowledge that was lost to mainstream understanding. Now let's make this practical for you living in the modern world. A word, fast contemporary version. It doesn't have to be 40 days. Start with 7 days. 1 week of silence is feasible, even for beginners, and will already transform your life profoundly. The rules are simple, but must be followed rigorously. 0 spoken words, except in situations of absolute necessity and emergency. You can write if you need to communicate something urgent, but no social media whatsoever. No text messages or WhatsApp. No emails. You need to completely disconnect from the need to express yourself verbally. Before you begin, prepare your environment. Inform the people you live or work with about what you're going to do. Organize your responsibilities so you have the minimum possible obligatory interactions during this period. Have a sacred journal where you'll note down the insights that emerge. But write only what's essential. Don't turn the journal into a substitute for speech. Use it only to capture important revelations you don't want to forget. And what should you do during this silence? Meditation is fundamental, but meditation without voice guides. Just you, your breath, and the silence. Nature walks are extremely powerful. Observe the trees, the birds, the wind, the clouds, without naming anything. Just observe. Read sacred texts, but without speaking aloud. Let the words enter through your eyes and descend directly to your heart without passing through your throat. Practice art. Draw, paint, play an instrument, if you know how. Creativity flows completely differently when the verbal mind is quiet. Write creatively if you feel the urge. Poems, stories, reflections, but always in silence. Observe your thoughts without judgment. You'll notice there are layers upon layers of mental chatter you never perceived before. Let those thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. Don't attach to them. And above all, don't force anything. The revelation comes by itself when you create the space of silence. You don't need to seek. You just need to be quiet and receptive. Jesus didn't need to prove anything by going 40 days without food. That was never the point. He was purifying himself. He was cleaning 30 years of human conditioning, of words heard, of absorbed beliefs, of accumulated mental noise. He was preparing for the mission ahead. And when he finally opened his mouth again after those 40 days, something had changed completely. Every word he uttered had the power to transform lives, heal diseases, cast out demons, illuminate consciousness, because his words no longer came from the ego. They came from the silence. They came from the source. And now you know the secret that has been hidden for centuries. Silence isn't the absence of sound. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is preparation. It's the fertile soil where the seeds of true wisdom can finally germinate. It's the womb where the new you is being It's the death of the old and the birth of the new. It's the most powerful alchemy that exists, and it's available to you right now. Could you go just 24 hours without speaking? Without social media? Without sending messages? Do this small test first. Just one day. And then come to the comments and tell us what you felt. What insights emerged? What was most difficult? What surprised you? And if you want to know the other 6 fasts that Jesus practiced that nobody ever told you about, click on the next video now. These fasts will completely transform your spiritual life. Don't miss this information. So let's recap what you discovered today. Jesus didn't go 40 days without eating. That would be medically impossible. He went 40 days without speaking. Total silence, complete abstinence from words. The Essene manuscripts that were discovered confirm this. The true fast was of speech, not food. The Essenes ate simple foods during their retreats. Dates, bread, water. But they didn't utter a single word. Why? Because words create reality. God spoke, and the universe came into being. You speak, and your life takes shape. Every word that comes out of your mouth carries frequency, carries creative power. And most people are using this power against themselves. Complaints, gossip, negative decrees. I can't do it. I'm broke. Nothing works out. You're creating exactly what you declare. Your words are spells, and you're casting spells on your own life without realizing it. Silence breaks this cycle. The first days are agony. Your ego screams, then comes clarity, insights, spiritual downloads, and if you reach 40 days, you're completely reborn. New consciousness, new cells, new being. You don't need to start with 40 days. Start with 1, just 24 hours without speaking, without social media, without messages. See what happens. Write down the insights, observe your thoughts, and prepare for transformation. Jesus came out of those 40 days with total power. Every word he spoke afterward changed lives, because his words came from silence. They came from source, not from ego, and now you have the key. Use it wisely. The silence is waiting for you. It's suppressed knowledge returning to light after centuries in the shadows.